Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to talk to you about a supplement that is being used more and more by people who want to reduce inflammation, improve liver health, improve lung health, prevent hair loss, and even help with emotions. The name of this supplement is NAC, or N-Acetylcysteine. I'm going to tell you what makes it so special that it can act on so many different systems in our body and what happens when you use it for 30 days. You're going to love this video. Stick around until the end. You won't want to miss it. Before we start, I want to ask you if you've ever heard of NAC, if you've ever used it, what your results were, or if you've never heard of it but are interested in any of its benefits, which of these benefits interests you the most? Write it for me down here in the comments. NAC is very interesting because it's not a medication. It is a stable form of the amino acid cysteine, and our body uses this raw material with the main and sole purpose of basically manufacturing more glutathione. Glutathione is one of the most powerful antioxidants in our body, especially because it has a very interesting ability to regenerate itself and regain its antioxidant role after it has been used to fight free radicals. Unlike vitamin C or vitamin E, which are also other forms of antioxidants that we can consume in our daily routine, glutathione also has the benefit of being produced by our own body inside each of our cells. It's as if it works like an energy shield that protects the liver, the brain, the lungs, and even the heart against free radicals. It protects the DNA and the mitochondria in our body. Now, what happens is that there can be a certain decline with aging. When glutathione levels drop with age, the cell can become more defenseless and starts to kind of rust from the inside, So this can be one of the signs, right, of low-grade chronic inflammation that ends up taking control of our metabolism, potentially accelerating diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, problems related to chronic illnesses, and their faster progression. More and more, we talk about slowing the progression of this low-grade chronic inflammation, about fighting it, and NAC can play a very interesting role in that. So let's talk a little more about the benefits of taking NAC, N-Acetylcysteine, for at least 30 days. When you talk about NAC, its most well-known benefit is for the liver, being the only antidote used in hospitals to save people who have overdosed on acetaminophen, for example. The liver uses glutathione to neutralize medications, alcohol, and everyday environmental toxins. So it provides this important raw material that allows the liver to work less hard during the detoxification process. If you are someone who wants to improve liver health and increase antioxidant activity in the liver, NAC can really help with that. There is another use for NAC that is also widely used in hospitals, which is related to respiratory health. This might actually be the oldest use of NAC because it acts as a powerful mucolytic. Physiologically, it enters our bloodstream, reaches the respiratory system, and breaks chemical bonds that make mucus, that thick phlegm, more viscous. So by breaking these bonds, the phlegm becomes more fluid, less viscous, and expectoration happens more easily. So it is highly recommended for smokers, ex-smokers, people with respiratory problems, those who have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, people who want to improve mucus production due to allergies or colds. They use it for these reasons. So it ends up being widely used by those looking to strengthen lung health. There's also the extremely interesting role of NAC when it comes to the brain, sadness, emotions, and even focus, brain fog, that mental haze that some people report. Because we know that our brain, of course, functions daily by consuming a massive amount of oxygen. In other words, it generates constant oxidative stress. And NAC, since it acts by regulating glutamate levels, which is the main excitatory neurotransmitter in our body, when glutamate is in excess in the synaptic cleft, excitotoxicity occurs, which can lead to neuroinflammation. So science indicates that this brain inflammation is one of the main triggers for deep discouragement, mood swings, anxiety, compulsive behaviors, and even brain fog. But as I was explaining to you, since NAC works by regulating glutamate, it restores the necessary balance for you to have mental clarity and proper brain function, including for your emotions themselves. It acts on both the emotional and physiological aspects of the brain, which is a very interesting detail. Many people talk about NAC nowadays because of its effects on hair and skin, since we know that hair follicles have extremely high metabolic activity, right? They are very sensitive to mitochondrial damage, so when we protect this structure, NAC supports healthy hair growth. It can also help with muscles because it speeds up muscle recovery after workouts. It fights the wear and tear caused by physical exercise. And there are even studies that talk about male fertility as well. Research indicates an improvement in sperm quality due to the reduction of oxidative stress in reproductive tissues. So it can act in a very interesting way in various organs and systems of our body as a whole. NAC also has a very interesting synergistic effect with glycine because for the cell to produce glutathione, it needs three things. It needs cysteine, which is found in NAC, right? NAC is N-Acetylcysteine, so it contains cysteine. Then there's glutamate, which the body already has in abundance, and glycine. So many times the production of glutathione is stalled in the body due to the lack of this third nutrient. So many people who want to further optimize the antioxidant capacity of NAC also take glycine along with NAC, which is another supplement that's closely associated with inducing sleep and improving neurological function. I have a video where I talk more about glycine. I'll leave it in the description. There's an interesting detail. Many people buy NAC in syrup form and throw it away thinking it's spoiled because NAC has a smell similar to eggs. Some people even report a rotten smell because it's a sulfur-containing amino acid. So, since it's sulfurated, it has this strong odor. And that's actually the real proof that it's in there, that it's present and highly concentrated. NAC has been widely used by people who are looking for a more antioxidant effect. But like everything in life has two sides, I have to give you a caveat, right? Because remember I told you that it thins the mucus in the lungs, that it's a mucolytic? In the same way, it can also do this in the gastrointestinal tract, potentially reducing the protective mucus. So if you have severe gastritis, chronic ulcerative heartburn, using NAC without a doctor's or nutritionist's recommendation can expose the lining of your stomach to hydrochloric acid even more, worsening your heartburn. So if you have any health problem, even if it's not related to the benefits I mentioned, and you're unsure whether you should use NAC or not, always talk to your doctor or your nutritionist. Remember that this video is for informational purposes only. For people who choose to use it together with a healthcare professional, the dosage established by scientific studies usually ranges from 600 to 1200 milligrams per day, taken once or twice a day. You can take 600 or 600 plus 600 or 300 plus 300, totaling that amount per day. And ideally, you should never take NAC on an empty stomach if you tend to experience nausea or loose bowels. The best way is to take it with lunch or dinner to avoid any gastric discomfort you might have. NAC works gradually in inflammatory modulation, so the results tend to be more consistent over time. Keep in mind that it's a supplement, so you'll really start to notice more significant benefits after a few days, around 30 days, and especially in the medium and long term. Let me know down below if you are aware of the benefits of NAC, if you've ever used it, what you used it for, and what practical benefits you noticed. I would love to see your comment. Remember to like the video, it's really important to me, and share it with anyone you think could benefit. Let's work together to expand this chain of kindness. That's what I want here on the channel. See you next time. Bye.